Is that
What's your heritage, Simple Jack?
Filipino and white boy. And Filipino is so mixed, it's hard to describe that. So, and white boy is so mixed, it's hard to describe that too. So, my dad's an American, my mom's a Filipino. So I'm lucky, I'm tall, but I got brown skin.
Did you go back there much?
Good to see you,
Never.
Mr. Simple
No,
Jack.
I moved away. Hey, Mr. Snaps, 8.
Good
I
to
moved
see
from
you,
the
mister.
Philippines when I was 6 because of a volcano. I think it was in '98. There was a large volcano, so my dad decided to move the whole family back to California, and I've been in California ever since.
I found the video. Should we'll wait for Tarek to come back. Do Yolanda and Snafu? Is that right? Was there a Yolanda Snafu situation, or was that Yolanda
Well,
Tarek?
I see. Yolanda is
Dick.
weird. Bex
Hold
and
on,
Yolanda
Snafu. Hold on,
seem to
Snafu. Before
draft towards the
pause,
Me Too
pause.
feminists.
Before we get started, I want to tell you, I will white knight if you start getting
No, and
super
you know
hostile.
what? I just wanted to say, if I may, without
Please.
being whatever. Okay, thank you. Whoever said I'm fucking worse than Tommy, are you fucking joking?
Negative. I'm not joking. I am not joking at all.
Messed
I'm
out
dead
of their
serious.
fucking mind. Fucking, are you joking?
I'm
You
dead
guys are
serious.
some Dysfunctional fucktard cupcake, discernment, idiotic fucktards. I go on here and act a fool, but remember, clout and drama sells. Digital experience is real. The tactics used in digital warfare are used on many different scales: emotional, psyop, fucking bullshit, pogo shit. But Tommy is a fucktard, fucked and messed out, fucking telling you what he's gonna do, bury bodies, threatening people, putting guns out. Fucking, you guys are delusional if you think he's better than
What is your reason for acting like you do? If his is the M,
Well, because again, you just made statements that again, it's like fucktards like you. That's not Monograph, and for years he brags about it. He's been questioned by pedophile task force about it. Like you don't even do your research about
why
these
can't
criminals,
why
traitors,
does
frauds,
no
or-
me not me
And I'm gonna
me
stop
being
because I don't want to
ignorant?
get backstage.
Me being ignorant doesn't have anything to do with you not having
Yeah,
self
piss me
control.
the fuck off. Ignorance, not you, just you. Ignorance.
Why don't you have the same self control that other people do? You can't restrain yourself well.
I do.
Actually, you
Watch.
can.
What? Hey, how's it going, Hank?
Doing great. You're
Good.
making my point for me. I don't have to do any work.
You been busting nuts on your torso a lot lately?
I had one today.
Cool. I still think you should go a little more expensive and get like a dark colored one.
Why don't you buy one for me then?
You got a show and tell on Flo's channel. It'll be special.
You gotta stop flirting, okay?
He has a good
I'm just
point.
telling you, man. Look at our society. We are fucked.
Please.
We are fucked.
Well,
And
that's
you
what you
guys
hope
think
for. at
Tommy's
least.
discernment and the guy
Snafu,
busting nuts on
everything
the
will be
no
fine.
offense, Hank. And the guy
Everything
who's
will be
ignorant
fine,
doesn't pay
Snafu.
attention to criminals, frauds, traitors, or peas on this platforms. It's
Thank
just
you
ignorant.
for showing that
I get
restraint.
upset. Sorry, Flo.
Thank you for showing the restraint. Yeah. So, Tarek, come on back up. I got this video queued up. Welcome everybody who showed up since who I haven't said hi to.
There's the full. The room's full.
Oh, the room's full. Oh, well, it's not full now.
Okay, there we go.
Mr. Grower's a dick. How are you?
Who just dropped out? We can't hear you, Dick. You're muted.
Yeah,
So me
simple.
and China Cupcake and Pago stuff going on up in here.
I put
I
Sasquatch
know.
in the middle to hypnotize the audience.
The optics are high.
Optics are
I feel like
magnanimous.
You guys remember that cave diver that went down and just got sucked in the hole? That's what it looked like. One of those guys in the caves, cave diving.
Well, let's hope my thing is
Oh,
better.
shit.
FlowState.
Oh shit! Damn.
Look at this
Okay.
amazing
Hold on,
fucking
hold on.
tea I'm drinking.
I got some new members. King Shin, welcome. Glad to have you as a member. Steve did a double 20 gift. He did 20, and then he did 20 more. I didn't even see it until just now. So, Steve, thank you for the constant support. I don't know if you were here earlier, but you and Chuck are the only two
Dude.
people who have permission to call me Sweet Cheeks.
All right, well, hey, sweet ums. Sweet ums. You know what you need to do? You got to get a DD fucking like garlic bread emoji. You have to. You should. And I know you hate me telling you what to do, but I'm kind of telling you what to do.
I noticed that. I was gonna wait until you finished to call you out on it.
Factors for your grift, of course.
Garlic bread.
I
I
don't.
don't get that.
I don't get the symbolism either. Explain the joke, please.
Yeah.
Garlic bread? Ask DD about it.
Explain the joke, please. I don't understand. Does anyone here understand garlic bread?
I know it's fucking delicious, but not on that.
Are you calling me Italian?
You guys just don't remember the pogo optics. It's,
All right.
it's okay. It's like our time span of our process. Y'all have fucking Alzheimer's or fucking dementia of the brain.
We have Alzheimer's.
You don't remember when Paul and him got into it over him cooking garlic bread and all that bullshit, and it was a big deal for like a week and a half?
We don't remember. We have.
Oh, okay. Now I remember, but
it was the funniest shit ever.
Look, Tommy is already the lore master. We don't need two people yelling at us and reminding us of shit that happened.
More ignorant to your known Alzheimer-ish ass, fucktardish, cupcake-ish. Forget about optics.
It's Alzheimer's. It's Alzheimer's, Snafu, not Alzheimer's.
Okay. You know,
No,
I
because
used
they
to work
forget
at
about things for all
I used to
time.
work at a unit for 3.5 years doing CNA and RN training work. Long time ago, years ago.
All right, Tarek, shall we watch this?
No,
Shall
show
we
the whole
review?
panel. Not just me, the whole panel. Let's go.
What is this?
You'll see it.
Yeah, we're gonna. This is how Paul handled this chick right here.
Oh yeah, I wasn't happy about all that shit at all. No.
Oh yeah, you weren't. Okay, but anyways, let's everybody be quiet. We'll watch this and then I'll pause it.
I challenge you, Pimp.
You're challenging me? What are you challenging me to?
You.
What are you challenging me to?
Oh, this lady was off her rocker.
Yeah, he thinks she wasn't mentally high, so I thought she was.
Hold on.
What is peace?
The absence of war.
What is the absence of war?
The understanding that there is only one truth in oneself.
She's not drunk.
This is where you go.
Where?
No, I don't mean you have to leave. I mean you can.
I don't want to leave. Where do I go? I don't think you know where I go. Because you aren't there.
No, I meant like this is where.
All right. Can we agree that she's not drunk?
No, she's not. I don't think she's drunk. I don't think she's drunk.
She's struggling.
She may not be drunk, but
under the
she's
influence of
definitely.
some things, I believe. But
And as I
the fact
remember,
that
this
she
was the
mostly
sanest
distraught,
part of the interaction. She
you
goes
find out
south
her
from
kids
here.
Taken away.
It does
You
go
know.
south.
Yeah, it
But
goes downhill
FlowState-
from here.
FlowState, I used to be an addict and used to be an addict. You should know, like, that's what shocks me, that you can't see she's, like, at least that she's on some kind of mental or drugs.
A mental illness or a mental breakdown is different from
I know
being
it
high.
is.
And
I
it needs
know,
to be
but-
handled differently. So hold on. This is what pissed me off is that you guys kept accusing her of that, but at no point did she say that was the case. She did say that she lost her kids that day.
No, at no
Jay-
point did she deny it
No.
either. She had a big
She did
smile
not
and
deny it either.
giggling
That
and
is
coming up
correct.
with
She didn't deny it
sarcastic
either.
answers. You could tell she was emotionally distraught either way, whether she was
Right.
under the substance or not. She was
Yeah.
mentally and physically fucked.
Right. Either way, that's not a helpful response to her, right? Which is
I
what
was
every
pissed at everyone. You remember I came on there and how I acted? For all you white knight motherfuckers who think I don't like women, this woman obviously was fucked up, and I was like, dude, you need to call a friend or what the fuck, get the fuck offline. And I could tell she, whatever happened at that moment of her life, she shouldn't have been on, period. Like, or my opinion, of course, but she was fucked up.
I'm interested to see it though, because I thought I remember her insinuating there was something there, but she didn't say specifically what it
I
was.
agree.
Yes.
I agree, Dick. That's exactly.
Okay, well-
She's being sarcastic and fucking trying to like make jokes about it. When you see, that's the discernment. That's the ignorance I was talking about. Flo, do you not see this shit? Like, do you just really turn the cheek,
Hold
or
the
you
fuck
just like
on.
so,
Hold
like,
the fuck
the
on.
flow,
Hold.
it goes past you.
You're not going to yell over me. No, you catch things that aren't there all the time, like Tommy actually being a P.
Do we have a benchmark?
Okay.
We don't. We
I'm not
don't
even
have a
gonna argue that.
For
we
children?
don't have a benchmark. We've never seen this chick before or since.
Yeah. Like
She's
that
not-
looked like a woman who was about to fucking crumble. Like that
Yes.
didn't look like drugs. That looked like a mental breakdown of like existential crises.
Yep.
You'll see more, Sarah. It's not
She was
as bad.
brought on by drugs, right? I mean,
Well, you're showing the later part. She came on like two
No,
different
this is
times.
the very
I think, or
beginning
something.
of it.
This is the beginning.
Okay. Well, didn't she come on twice or something? Because she left and then
Yeah,
came back
She
on.
bounced out a couple times, but we'll keep
Yeah.
going.
And JG did ask her if she's having mental issues or not. JG did ask her that.
I don't think anybody could really have a coherent conversation with her. I'll be
Yes,
honest. I mean,
I
like,
agree.
you know,
Dude,
I think
have-
it was
Shut up!
really.
Hey, I'll tell you
Shut
what.
the
I
fuck
used to
up!
Who's speaking?
FlowState.
Go ahead.
I was
you
just
not-
gonna say, I used to do a con show.
Can you guys not? Can you guys not hear the video?
No, we don't see it.
No.
No video.
Oh, we
playing.
couldn't hear it.
Oh, I took it off screen. I'm sorry.
Why is he saying shut the fuck up?
You got that moment
That's
of silence,
funny.
you just sat there like you had accomplished some shit.
I'm just sitting here in silence. All right, now I'll play it again.
I leave. Where do I go? I don't think you know where I go because you aren't there.
No, I meant like this is where you talk. What's all this pain that you have? Where's this coming from? What's the situation?
Life.
Why is life causing you so much pain in this moment? Jack is
Lies.
here. What was that?
Lies.
Lies?
Do you lie?
Oh. Do I lie? No, not actively, not willfully. It's possible.
Are
that I
you
do
lying
not.
right now?
No. You believe that I'm lying?
Hear you lying.
Why would I lie? People who lie are lying
agree
because
Lies.
okay. So what am I lying about specifically?
Your words.
As I was saying, I wouldn't come on here or anywhere at this time and willfully lie. People who lie are afraid of the truth. I'm not afraid of the truth, so I have nothing to lie about.
I'm not afraid of the truth.
Right, so I don't think
But you
everybody
are.
actively, willfully lies. I wouldn't accept that.
You're lying right now.
If I am, I don't think I'm aware of it. I could search myself.
Why am I on echo? Can I turn it off?
Right, again, I don't willfully, actively lie. If I withhold truth, and that's considered lying, then that's the closest you're going to get. But do I actively go around lying for profit or for gain or because I'm afraid of the truth? No. I don't gain anything by doing that in this life.
Damn it! I want to hear the part where she says, "This might be."
To be honest with you, FlowState, I don't like seeing it again. 'Cause I used to be an
Christos,
addict.
anyone?
Yes.
I said I used to be an addict. When I see it again, it kind of bothers me because I try to help her out a little bit, but you can't help somebody when they're I
mean,
totally in a mental state that I don't know what their mental state is.
And it is unpleasant to watch. You don't have to have been an addict to recognize that she's clearly in pain.
Yeah.
But like, what do you think? What is it that you think she's on?
It doesn't matter. I don't think. I've had people call in on my like when I did phone calls, I opened phone lines up international, like because it was a phone number call-in show versus just this panel thing. And one night we got like a suicidal caller, and I thought it was a bit, but it was real. And I mean, it's internet, man. And I just saw a broken chick, fucked up, probably needed to either be somewhere safe or with someone. And she was reaching out online to the only thing she had.
Did you hear the part where she said that she did what he
I
said?
think there was substance abuse just from the way she was talking and acting and slurring and.
But that's why I'm asking what substance, because she's not drunk, she's not sedated.
Maybe crack, maybe fucking.
Yeah, I say crack.
Yeah, but you know what?
Well, we don't know what she
could
did.
say
I mean,
that
like,
about anybody. Somebody could say, "Hey, I did what Freedom said, and I built a tiny home, and then they gave me code violations and took my fucking property, and gave me a bunch of fines." Well, yeah, you didn't do your due diligence. You didn't use common sense.
Sure.
And you're not taking accountability for your own actions, and then you want to come and project to somebody online that
said,
you
I did
loosely.
what you told me to. Did you hear that part, Dick?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And,
we
and
heard
what
it.
specifically did she say? She said, I did what you told me to. I didn't get it the number. Like, she didn't give her kids social security numbers.
Mhm.
And then after that is when she started getting accused of being high.
Okay. So what do you think happened here?
I don't know what happened to her, but I think that she came up here. She came on panel because she followed bad advice from a confident shuckster. And no matter how much of whatever happened, obviously that came into play somehow. I don't know if that's what got their attention.
You can't say that because here's the deal. Like, it's an open panel. People surf through it all the time.
Yeah.
Algorithms hit all the time. Things happen. That chick's never been fully involved from we've seen her, but
we need to know more about her life though too.
We do.
Honestly speaking.
But right now, all we're doing right now,
We
though,
don't
is we're
know
not
that.
assessing her life. We're assessing his response.
Well,
Right.
I was pissed at all you guys.
Are you opposed to speeding it up? Flo?
No, I'll speed it up now.
Trying to get her to, like Tarek said, hey, maybe you should
Because
get
I think it does. I think the kids being taken, it's not just based off her not issuing a social security number. I think there was more to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. There's
Yeah,
more
absolutely.
context. There's
It's
not
just
as much
logical.
so I Paul responsibility yet.
Call me a flat earther, smacker, slapper.
Hey, Snafu,
realist.
can you please just let other people speak a little bit?
Can I get a little more context?
Why not?
What was the problem that she came to Paul for in the
And that's what I'm trying to get to. I will speed it up now. The reason I started to at first, but then I stopped because I didn't want that to throw people's perception so that they're like, oh, well, she's on dope. She's speedy. Because I don't think that's it either. I can't, and that's why I'm asking that, because I can't pinpoint something. Either way, it doesn't matter. We'll continue. Let me add it back up.
Yeah, and Paul doesn't give advice. He said it many times, just to let you guys know.
Shut the fuck up with that shit, Tarek.
Come on, we know that.
Of course he does.
First two guests. I mean, it was good to see Jack on OTWs, but
We're feeding back. We're echo.
Oh, that was on their end.
We need a headset. Okay. Try again, Christos.
yeah, I don't know who that was. I'm not sure who this Jen lady is. You're really perplexing me, ma'am. The way you kind of just start staring off. Yeah, I'm very intrigued why you even hit the panel, who you are, where you came from.
Well, I think she's going through some changes. She's dealing with some pain and some issues. And I think that she's.
What the fuck is Steve saying on there?
I missed the beginning, Paul, so I don't know what happened with Jen, but she seems like she's hurt.
Right. I mean, you're feeding back. I'm not going to do this today. Apparently I am, because I'm doing it. And I've said it many times. Please don't come up here without a headset. It usually doesn't work. I mean, raise your hand if you're not dealing with trust issues or haven't dealt with them. And I'm sure that she has her reasons why she's experiencing pain and trust issues and thinking that everybody lies. I could relate to that. Start to feel like in life, everybody's lying. Nobody will keep it real. Nobody can be trusted, it seems at times. But I've learned that even if that's the case, which it's not, we can trust ourselves in that force. And we can trust in our vision and discernment, provided that we have enough awareness to realize if we're in alignment or if we are in resistance, which is a big if. So Jen, would you like to speak to me about something? I see you kind of, head bobbing, you're kind of yelling out. I can't hear you if you're speaking to me. So if you'd like to have a conversation with me or exchange, we can do that, but you're gonna have to unmute. All right. So I can't, okay. I think I unmuted from your side. Is there something that you'd like to talk to me about?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Are you alive? Are you alive?
It seems so. It would seem so. I can't prove it.
I don't know.
I mean, that's an existential correct question in and of itself. She's having a mental breakdown.
All right, maybe go relax. You want to go like lay down
Agreed.
and relax or something so I can get on with the broadcast, talk to these other folks.
You relax with them because they speak truth. What is truth, bitch? You tell me.
Yeah, I think her whole world
What is truth?
lost her children.
Can anyone
she's
tell me?
Losing
you in the glasses. Tell me. What is truth? What is it? What is it? What is it, bitch?
Yeah, that's the thing. Nobody can tell you truth. You have to come to discern that on your own.
So what is it, Paul?
Again, I can't tell you even objectively. I could subjectively give you a perspective on what objective truth is, but it wouldn't really much.
Perspectively, objectively, give me the truth.
Regarding what exactly?
Right now. Tell me the truth.
The truth is we're here together. I'm doing a broadcast and we need to figure out what the first and or next segment of that broadcast is going to be about. So are we going to have a...
I went to court and my kids are gone. So you tell me what the next broadcast is. Because I didn't get him a number. I did everything that all you fuckers said to do. Now what, bitch?
No, that's the thing. Nobody told you what to do in your life, and I definitely didn't tell you to conduct yourself like this. So if you want to go around life conducting yourself like this and then blaming other people for the results you get, you're not going to get anywhere. So I didn't tell you to act like a broken child.
Men run the
I
world.
didn't tell you to act like a broken child. I didn't
Didn't
tell
you
you to,
though?
I didn't tell you to twist your head around like this, which you probably did at court, and they thought you were non-credible and disrespectful and belligerent. So you didn't do anything, I suspect, that I told you I do, because I don't behave like this. So take responsibility for your life, your mates, your children, your presentment, your thoughts, your emotions, actions, and results. Okay? Because I didn't speak to you privately, and I never told you what to do. I don't tell anyone what to do. I tell folks what I do, and I damn sure don't do this and expect to be taken as credible. So would you like to restate what happened, and would you like to ask for some counsel? Or would you like to act out here and make other people the source of your problems?
That's pretty intense.
Yeah, and there's more of it, but just I figured I'd pause and give us a little break and see what I know. I could hear Sarah talking, but not what she said. And I'm curious what everybody thinks. If that was now you're seeing the flavor or the nature of the interaction shift, right? From, and I'll admit, Paul was being, good at first. I had no issues with how he handled that.
That's the best I've ever seen Paul.
Right.
He was actually, paying attention to her distress and her emotions and not attacking her for being in her feminine side. So, I mean, that is definitely the best I've ever seen of Paul interact with someone.
I think that Red 40 is Paul.
It's a great point, though, too, that if, she presented that way, of course, the result's probably going to be less than desirable if she was in that manic state. And who's to give us any impression that she would have done otherwise?
If somebody came onto one of your streams and said, hey, I did what you told me to, and my kids got taken away in court today,
then I would probably ask, what did I tell you to do?
Wouldn't you? Do you think the appropriate? Do you think that you should? Yeah, exactly. Try to figure out if you had in fact been spreading bad information, as is known to do.
Yeah, but Paul listens to himself saying stuff. He probably didn't tell her to not.
No,
I think Paul handled
it good.
Hold on,
and there's
Snafu, let Hank finish, and then you're next.
Yeah, I don't think Paul told her to not do the documents and act like she does now in court. So if Paul thinks he didn't give the advice, then and even if he did give advice, why would you take some random guy in and not press them on why do this, why do that? I mean, last time I was on about Paul not doing his stuff with his auto registration. I pressed him on it, and actually Snafu got pissed off that I was asking questions. So,
and I agree. Regardless of what Paul did or didn't do, she's still ultimately to blame for her poor discernment. But when you're speaking to the whole internet, you know that there's going to be a lot of people with poor discernment that listen to you and take your word for gospel. Like Tarek, right? He's a perfect example. Snafu, you're up. What's up?
I was just saying this is a result of culted ones. Like, it's not Paul corrected it, and his genre, because even Christos jumped in there. Look at the optics, and he was like, "Who the fuck's this chick?" Blah blah. We know her.
Yeah, Christos started that bullshit. I agree.
She was broken. She was going through shit. It was a triggered event. She watched the shit, and again, these gung ho motherfuckers. There's a lot of cupcakes out there saying they're ready, and then when they face the things. Victim is a big thing nowadays. I got people. Your granny panties are putting spells on me and fucking saying that their heart attacks and shit are my fault. They can't turn on buttons. I'm just saying it's optics occulted ones, but it's not even culted. It's not his fault. He corrected it, and I mean, because you get a lot of people who watch your shit, man, and it's their discernment. It's their way they fucking interpret it.
I agree, actually. I don't think that this shit is his fault. I think it's her fault. Sorry, the fire went out. I'm trying to get it lit again. But I do think that it's not
even a fault thing. I think she was trying to reach out in a damaged position, and she chose that platform. No matter whether she was under substance or emotion, she was either way mentally.
All right.
Unstable.
I'm just going to point it out. FlowState has been defeated by one of the basic tenets of being human. The possession of fire.
Right.
I'm not defeated.
I have to say, though, that Paul oftentimes tells people to not show proof of identity all the time. Like, don't show your driver's license. And I don't know what she didn't offer up. Like she said, I didn't give him, what was it, Social Security numbers or something? And it resulted in her kids being taken away. So she very well could have taken.
No. We got to correct that. Paul says that that's what he does, and many people follow that.
A lot of people.
It's not even Paul. Like you've been seeing these mainstream medias are pushing the sob sit shit. That's why his video went viral. It's because of sob sit shit. It's about the patriot. It's about people rising up. Even people like Flo and Didi Didi wondered why he had a pogo attack recently. We know why.
And to be fair,
he has corrected the record. He doesn't tell people, hey, don't, he says, this is what I do. If you want to fucking,
shut up. No. Look, when you call people slaves for having driver's licenses, you're telling
you guys heard me fucking call him bitch. I told him broke bad for life.
Snafu, are you deflecting on purpose? You understand what I'm saying.
All you guys are slaves. You follow policy and guidelines. I'm on
Snafu.
Snap.
Stop deflecting.
I'm not. I'm just telling you, we're all slaves.
But here's the
in our
thing.
own way.
Here's the thing about the lady though, because like we don't know 100% exactly what happened. Like she says that, you know, her kids are taken away because of this and that. But just based on her presentation, like I would need.
We're
I'm
not.
sure there's
We're
reason,
not
like
deciding
Chiquita.
whether or not she should have her kids. We don't need to know her whole backstory. All we're doing is assessing the interaction.
Yeah, we are. But I'm also assessing the interaction based on her presentation, right? Like she's definitely distressed. She's definitely
Flo,
upset, and
she
I
Snafu,
believe that
stop interrupting. Sorry, go
sorry,
ahead,
Notch.
Notch.
let's
No, sorry, Notch. Go ahead.
yeah, I'm just saying that like I believe her. I believe that her kids are taken away, you know? Like I'm not going to take that away from her, but her saying like because of that detail alone that's, you know, she didn't register, like I'm not going to be 100% on board with that. Like maybe there's some other reasons as to why. That's all.
And all I'm saying, Flo, is she brought it to the platform first. That's the lesson about this public platform. You bring it to the table. It's on a public platform. It's up. So for not Chiquita to fucking talk about it, like there's like you're like, well, no, it's absolutely open and accessible, and should be his right to at least assess his thoughts on that certain situation. She brought it to the table. My whole thing is she said there was a triggered event that day where I kind of believe it happened. And just like Dick said, it's not, you could tell there's probably reasons, you know.
Bring it to a close and then stop talking.
Chick. I just see a broken ass chick who was fucked up reaching out to any.
All right, we get your point. You've said it over and over and over consistently since you got on the panel. Let other people have it. Actually, don't say a single thing until like at least 3 more people have had a turn to talk, excluding me.
From what I seen there is that when she first came on, she was visibly upset, visibly emotional, and then she went off screen, off camera, and then when she came back, she was a little bit different. And so whatever that different was, then that's when she started looking off into space. She started acting a little bit irrational. So she wasn't the same person that I perceived from when she was first on camera, then when she went off and when she came on. We can't say what she did or didn't she do. We can just observe from what we've seen. And from what I seen, she seemed a little bit altered from the first time when I seen her before she went off the camera.
That's good. That's a good observation. I didn't catch that, but
I was there. That I heard that conversation that day, and I actually joined his panel for the first time that day to let him know that I was thankful as an audience member to see how he was first interacting with her was what we just saw.
At first.
And just yes.
Or
And
the
what
whole
Jesse and what Jesse just described is accurate. Her behavior did change. And another reason why it hit me a certain kind of way is because I have family members, women who are addicts. And that is exactly the way that they behave when things are not going well for them in their life.
What are they addicted to?
And my
alcohol.
She was in the hotel. She was outside, and when
Alcohol and heroin. So,
Do you think that she's? I would say she's not on either of those at all.
When she started to get a little bit more belligerent and not really making any sense, and I do mean it. At one point she wasn't making any sense, and I also do know that mental illness will do that to a person when they're having a nervous breakdown. I know that too.
Right.
So I didn't really see. I had to go back and watch the rest of it after that, and I was kind of surprised at how it all ended. But in the beginning, I was really happy to see that how he was responding to her. But the rest of the interaction got a little crazy when other people started to join the panel, and then it just turned to shit after that, because then it became the show. It wasn't just about a conversation with people anymore.
And I agree. He started strong. I'll give him that.
Yeah. So I understand where people are probably feeling where the you know, they like for example, like let's just say that Paul gave bad advice and she took the bad advice and then she was in the situation she's in, but she came there definitely distressed. And then if people are not able to properly handle her situation, or it was too much for them, and they were just kind of like dismissing her and say, well, she's on drugs and we don't want to deal with her, kind of deal. I get that reason as being kind of like, putting too much blame on her. But at least from my observation, she was very difficult to talk with. I wasn't there up on the panel, but from listening in, and then she was like inside, and then she was outside, and then yeah, I would agree that she was a little bit incoherent. I can't say exactly what drug she was on. I presumed that she was on some kind of a pharmaceutical drugs or maybe something else. But I don't know what was the cause of her situation, but definitely you can't. It's difficult to have a conversation with her. I mean, like, and I think people tried. I think Paul tried.
Well,
That's my opinion.
Let's keep going. I did a poll, and the people want to watch more of the interaction. Not by a huge margin, but enough. I want to ask a question though, and then y'all can answer it if you want to after we watch a little more. But if she is on drugs, does that change the way that she should be responded to? I mean, should she be dismissed and told to get her shit together?
A little bit, but we didn't really confirm it. So
let's. I mean, that's just think about it for a second, and we'll come back to that after we watch a little more.
Just remember, though, so someone who just lost their kids that came out online to share this, whether she's high or not, should have some compassion for her with the situation that it just happened to her. If you have a heart, you would have compassion for someone that just is experiencing that situation.
Yes.
I'm going to make people the source of my problems.
I'm sure you are. You've made the United States citizens the problem solver for you. You've made courts the problem solver for you. You've made other men here the problem solver for you. What else is new? A lot of you like to act like broken children, raising broken children, and then blame others when you don't have access to them or can't manage their lives correctly because you can't manage your own life correctly, I suspect. What do you do for a living, ma'am?
I work, bitch.
There you go. So if we were at court and I asked you what you did for a living, you'd say, I work, bitch. And you wonder why you don't have your children, because you are a child.
Oh, because I'm fucking Alice in Wonderland and I got fucking rips in my
Right,
stocking,
because you're probably on drugs
and
and
boots on the ground.
because you're probably
there it was.
Because you're probably on drugs right now, and you probably have drugs in your history and in your life regularly, and it just reeks of drug use and addiction and dysfunction, right? So whether it's a panel or a courtroom, yes, immediately you're going to deem to be not fit to manage your own affairs, and especially the affairs of young children. Of course.
Maybe
So you didn't do what I told you to do. I didn't tell you to do anything. But if I did tell you what to do, it wouldn't be live like this. It wouldn't be present like this. It wouldn't be respond like this.
Wouldn't you?
So would you like to tell me what you do for a living other than work?
Tell me. I work at a casino.
You work at a casino, right? Because you're an addict. That makes sense. Isn't that right, man? Do you have drugs? Do you have drug and alcohol history as long as everyone's arm?
Doesn't everyone?
No, everyone doesn't. There's many people who.
Okay, I did not catch that the first time. I'll admit that.
Yeah, and she didn't deny. I mean, like, she could have just said that's completely wrong, that she's on drugs or she has ever been on drugs. Like, I mean, like most people here, I presume have done drugs before. But if anybody was accusing me at this time, at this moment, that I'm on some kind of drug, I would say no, fuck you, I'm not on any drugs. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can kind of tell that she wasn't really responding to that question like directly. And I'm assuming that it's because she was on something. Why? Or otherwise, why not deny it?
So
I mean,
what about the answer to the question? Go ahead, Sarah.
That second part of the video definitely looked more like drugs. But I will say that when your brain is shattering, forming a thought and being able to respond normally is almost impossible. So it can look very similar, but the actions that she was doing later, where she's dancing around and being I mean, that can still be a mental break, but that does look much more like some kind of substance.
I
Thank
mean,
you.
either
Yes,
way,
I
me,
agree.
I and either way, to be honest, like I think we can still be empathetic to her. We can still, try to talk with her. It's just that like to me, I wouldn't care. Like even if she was drunk, even if she was like on drugs, like I would have been, trying to understand like where she's coming from, and I would have been trying to like understand like what she's going through, right? And then
Yeah.
I can even understand why she might take drugs or get drunk, because she did lose her kids, I mean, but like trying to have a coherent, logical conversation with anybody like that is nearly impossible. And I've had experience, being on panels and talking to people who were absolutely drunk before and trying to have a conversation with them, but it never got anywhere. It's just not possible.
Pretty much when you talk to someone that's getting belligerent with you, sometimes you have to match their energy just to get them back on track. For example, today with Snafu and you. So that's what Paul was doing. It's a legitimate strategy. So I don't have any problems with how Paul handled that.
I still go ahead.
Do you really think you can match the energy of somebody who's under the influence, though? That'd be pretty difficult, in my opinion. Like I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
difficult, but that's what you have to do.
I still think either way he handled it wrong. Because if she has a drug history, which she admitted to, if she is on drugs, which she didn't deny, he lucked into that. She looks like, and I agree with this comment, she looked to me like she's having a mental break. She's not drunk. She's not sedated. She's clenching her jaw, but she's not grinding it or moving it around. And you'd expect some jaw clenching out of somebody. There's no reason to think that she's on drugs when he accused her, except that he was trying to discredit the claim that she had just leveled at him.
So,
it kind of looked like
Go
meth
ahead.
to me. All the movement, the traveling around the room, going from inside outside. It looked like meth to me. But I'm not a professional, so it's just my opinion.
Well, I'm a.
So how?
I'll say that was on the
question-
table. Go ahead.
Yeah, the question is then, like, what would you have done? What would have been a better way to handle that?
Just remove that person from the room, because I don't like that kind of content. I wouldn't want to promote that kind of content on my channel. So I just remove them from the room, knowing the backstory and what they're bringing up. A person that distressed, I wouldn't use that for content personally. It's not my kind of energy.
I agree. I'm with him.
Yeah, but the thing is, I
that's all.
wouldn't be in a rush to move in the room because I'm just want to try to get them calmed down. I don't want to just kick them out because they may act rash in response. So I wouldn't be in a rush to hit. I might at least get them to some kind of stability before I let them go.
I would also have ended the. I would have ended the stream, and let her stay on and talk to me off stream if she wanted to.
The back room is a great idea.
But I would never have started attacking her and accusing her. And like, what the fuck good is that's going to do zero bit of good for her, for her kids, for the audience. All that does is make you feel better because she just blamed you, which I agree. I think everybody agrees. It's not your fault that her life is the way it is, right? But how you handle it is, and attacking somebody who's clearly just had like the worst day of her life,
compounds it.
Right.
Well, again, you're just taking that interaction, though. We don't know. She could be like that every fucking day, just a complete loon,
All we're
totally
doing
out
is
of fucking
assessing.
sorts.
That doesn't matter. All we're doing is assessing the interaction.
But you're assuming that it's the worst day of her life. So if we're just going to take it as the interaction, then we can't speak.
It was a figure of speech. Maybe she's had worse days.
Not taken away from her every single day.
I don't know. I mean, I don't even know that she's saying or that she's stating the truth. I mean, she seemed pretty sporadic and all over the place, and
Nobody
very
does. That's the
ungathered
point.
with her thoughts.
How would you have handled it, Dick?
Probably pretty similar. I think Paul was real tempered and calm initially after he got attacked, and then she continued to try to take that angle after he said, "Can we do this?" He actually did say, go down, rest. Let's do this another time when you're more sober or whatever. There was a couple of points there where I think he tried to, dissolve the conversation. She didn't want to do that. And she became very adversarial and attacking and took a really strong position against him. Now, it's easy to play armchair quarterback and say,
Well,
I do this or I do that.
Did she?
But I think when you say, you're going to do it a different way, it's a little bit of virtue signaling. How would you know for sure that you're going to handle it any certain way? It's like the reality is he did what he did in the moment. You would do what you did in the moment. But you say it does no good. What good does it do to attack the guy and say, he's doing everything wrong here? Is it really that out of sorts that Paul is needs to be put on the front burner and torn apart for this?
And actually, yeah, this was actually about Tarek. That's how this whole thing got started. So I hear your point. You're not necessarily wrong in that one, but that's not the reason that we were watching this.
Thanks for reminding us, though.
Okay, but regardless that Tarek brought it up or not, we are kind of analyzing the situation, and then we're trying to determine and we're judging, whether or not somebody did the right thing or not. It's again, it's a matter of opinion. In my, we are all armchair psychologists here, right? And so, again, in my personal opinion, I think that's about as good as it gets. I would agree. Maybe the best thing to do was not use that as content or whatever. But I mean, you got to go with the flow in this situation. I mean, no pun intended. But I mean, it's just like.
But that's
what
he
is
does.
the right direction to go?
Yeah.
Well, does anybody else?
You can give him boundaries and say, well, you shouldn't make content out of this. You shouldn't. But he's there, and the people show up, and they present what they want to present. Is it really our prerogative to tell him that he should cut this off, or isn't it just virtue signaling to say, well, I would do it better because I would cut it off and talk to him off screen?
Yeah, and if using
wouldn't have been able to see it. None of us would have been able to see the interaction.
Dick, then Hank, and then Dick. Go ahead, continue.
We just would have nothing to talk about with this if he'd have done that. And I mean, that's the whole point of what he's there is to present the communication. It's all on record.
Hank?
Yes, if using it as content was immoral, then we're immoral for using this content right now.
Yeah, and that isn't actually my criticism is that he made no effort at all to. Does anybody else agree that if somebody says, you told me this and now I've had these negative responses, does anybody else think that he has some obligation to sort of chase that down and figure out what maybe he played in it?
If he doesn't tell her, then no.
Well, if I was in Paul's shoes, well then you'd kind of I actually would address it. If I was in Paul's shoes, but I'm not Paul, so but yeah, you're right. And to answer Dick's question, it's the internet. Reacting to videos is totally normal, and what we're doing is completely normal. We're not telling anybody to do anything. And someone asked what I would do in this situation, so it was actually asked. I didn't bring it up, so not all of us are telling. What I mean, it's literally, but this is what is normal.
And I mean, for anybody who's
it's all normal. Metaversely speaking.
Anybody who's not, hold on, stop. For anybody who's not familiar with this, Paul's content is sob shit, right? Does anybody disagree with that? So he does give people at least, if not explicit instructions. He criticizes people who have driver's licenses who participate in that system. So what she's accusing him of is not far-fetched. It is in the same vein as his content. And I think that he has an obligation to maybe chase down that lead a little bit.
I don't disagree. Go ahead, Sarah. You go first.
I was going to say I agree with that. I would like to know if it was just general advice or if he specifically gave her advice, because I think that changes the degree of responsibility he would have. Now, regardless,
He said he never talked to her, so I think that we can take his word or him at face value on that one.
And nobody has seen her, and I think she admitted that that was the first time being there, anyways. But like like what I wanted to say was that like again, like like who takes responsibility? I think that's what Paul was trying to do, is that like he wanted to just kind of like tell her about like what she is accountable for. Like yeah, it's sad all those situations happen, right? But like then at the end of the day, like like who can you really blame, right? And there's some truth to that.
All right, let's say it like this, man. Some people come out and be saying stuff like they know the truth to something, and when you get out here and you say a lot of stuff to a certain degree to people, and you make it sound believable, you do have to own a certain amount of accountability for people believing what you build your platform on. It's just like a news reporter reporting news. Just because you decide to sensationalize the news and maybe not tell a certain part of it, we're gonna be just like, oh, well, we just wanted to hear the juicy part. We didn't care about all the other context to the story. We don't say that. We hold the media accountable, and we are a part of the media to a certain degree. I don't know Paul from a fucking dirt rock in the sand, man, but I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, if he's putting out holding a certain platform to a certain degree of truth, then he has to be held accountable when his truth is challenged.
Okay, John, but then you have less of a say than most of the people here, because most of us have actually listened to Paul for many hours compared to you.
But that doesn't change what my opinion about if he's speaking truth. Does he speak himself like he's telling the truth about something, whether it be his sovereign whatever or whatever he speaks about? Cause I heard him a couple times say that he isn't afraid of the truth, and he speaks truth, right?
Okay, so you have heard him speak then.
I watched the clip from right now today that Flo was showed on his channel, but I've never watched him before that.
I see Paul take accountability for how his message is interpreted more than I think he even needs to the point where it's like you got people like Mr. Miyagi in the chat saying that Paul stands up or tells you to stand up against, the powers that be all the time. That's not at all Paul's message. And I mean, maybe it's just my interpretation, but I've never heard him say anything like that. It's about standing for what's good, right, and true in your own heart, being able to face your own conscience, the spirit you walk with, and be able to know that you're actually doing what is right. That's what matters. He's going to say a million things to trigger you. That's what he does. He tells you that up front. Something's going to actually stick, and you're going to get offended, and you're going to make that the crux of the conversation instead of realizing he's just doing that, and everybody eventually gets hit with something. But the actual premise of what he's presenting is stand for what's right. And that's between you and the Most High. His interpretation may be different than yours. It doesn't really matter what he thinks. It matters what you think and what you know.
I would suggest that he doesn't stand for anything except for saying what the fuck he wants to whoever he wants to, and then gaslighting anybody who criticizes him for criticizing everybody.
That's fine, but he's not telling you to do anything.
Stockholm syndrome.
I wouldn't argue your point, but he's not telling you specifically what you have to do or how you have to conduct yourself. Matter of fact, he won't give you marching orders because he knows it's not a one-size-fits-all, and there is no guarantee of outcome.
No,
so regardless of how you apply this,
no, you're projecting that interpretation onto him.
And you can agree. We're not.
I'd love to hear what he thinks about that.
We're not telling Paul to do anything.
I bet he'd say I'm right on target, but it's just my guess.
He's down there in the chat. I'm pretty sure Red 40 is him, and I've invited him up like 3 times now.
Yeah, because the reality is you don't know what tyrant you're going to interact with when you have a policy enforcement type of interaction. And there's no saying that if you say a certain thing one way, that one guy's not going to take a billy club and beat you bloody, and the other's going to actually hear you speak to his heart and be a human. So there is no guarantee of any of this shit. And that's absolutely has to be,
if I tell you that you're a piece of shit for building tiny homes, do you think that's me telling you not to build tiny homes?
I just don't care. I mean, if you did it a bunch, I would end up firing back and saying, what the fuck are you doing? And You're probably just inspired by what I'm doing, and that's
You're
why
not
you would attack
answering
it.
my question. You're deflecting.
I'm just showing you what I would do. I would fire back and say you're probably
You're
offended by what
deflecting.
I'm doing because you're inspired by it, and you can't do it on some level.
I understand your point of view, Flo, but I think Sasquatch wanted to say something. Go ahead.
That wasn't me, bro.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard your voice.
Well,
But
no,
like,
what I said
I
was suggesting that he didn't care is I don't think is right. You do care. You're on a panel. If you didn't care, you wouldn't be here.
I
saying
care
these
what
things.
Flo thinks about me building tiny homes. Are you fucking kidding me?
No. It was the whole concept of conversation, the idea. Like you say, you don't care, but you actually do care, dude. Like
I don't care if Flo thinks I'm a piece of shit for building tiny homes. It matters
It would
not to
not
me.
change his course of action. I think it's, but it would.
No,
be
I really,
me-
literally would not even think about it. Beyond
but listen.
the moment that we had the conversation, it literally would not even cross my mind again. It matters nothing.
But
I don't give a fuck.
Not that I don't disrespect you, Flo.
No. Stop. I didn't ask if you give a fuck about what I think. I asked, do you think I would be telling you what to do in that situation?
No,
Thank
because
you,
you're just
Flo.
saying I'm a piece of shit.
You don't think there's an implication there?
I guess what you're saying is it's insinuating that you're telling me not to because what I'm doing is bad.
A
But
little
perhaps
bit.
it's not saying that at all. It could be saying you're just a shitty builder and you need to
outta here.
step
You're
up your
being-
game
you're
and learn
being
some more
dishonest.
carpentry.
You're
I'm being
I don't know
honest,
about that, Nick.
transparent. So you don't want counter opinions that actually can articulate the
that
point?
was not. No.
I don't want bullshit. That's bullshit. You don't even believe you.
But in this
That if you tell
situation
me
here,
opinion.
that I'm shit for building tiny homes, that I should then assume that you're saying I shouldn't build tiny homes.
Yes, that's correct. Because
No,
nobody wants to be a piece of shit.
Okay, great.
Obviously,
So what's your
that's not a
point?
compliment.
I'll go with you on it. You win. So
Is this a
what's the point now?
about tiny homes?
The
or
point is that, like,
theoretical?
I mean, I think it's pretty simple. Go ahead, Sarah. Sorry.
Do you actually
Can I get a
think
point?
it's fit for building tiny homes, or is this just hypothetical?
No, it's an example.
It's
because
just hypothetical.
It's a
Like, what the fuck?
because Paul
Nothing's wrong with
tells
tiny homes. Nothing's wrong with tiny homes.
He's
We all want
jealous.
tiny
He's
homes. I want a tiny home.
He's jealous because my tiny home's bigger than his.
the reason I ask that is
Just by a
because
foot.
Paul regularly criticizes people for doing things like having driver's licenses.
But I live in
but
my-
for this
Oh,
interaction,
I get what your
here,
point is. Yeah.
if he's never had an interaction with her, he's never specifically given some advice. She's just watched some interviews, she's watched some time on air, learned some things. Whatever she decided to do with that information is on her. It's not on anybody else. But there wasn't, from what I'm aware of, from what I've seen, there was no actual interaction. She didn't come up. He didn't give her any direct advice, one-to-one advice. He can't be, accountable for her, whatever her actions were at that time.
And I agree with that almost
I
entirely.
somewhat disagree, honestly. Because if I sit out here and say you don't need a car registration, and I keep saying this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? I do have hold a certain degree of responsibility because of the influence that I have by being on the platform and having people follow me and stuff like that. I just feel like, I don't know, we got to be more careful with what we
Jalen.
say. Go
But
ahead.
Can I make a
Jalen,
point
like,
here?
Okay,
Let's
go ahead.
let
Dave.
Notch go.
If I
and
say
then-
to Flo that he's a slave because he has a license, you're saying that it's reasonable to assume that I'm telling you shouldn't have a license.
Yes.
But in fact, if I'm passionate and convicted that I shouldn't have a license and I think you are a slave because you have one, and I express that, it's your choice to do with that what you will. If you don't give a shit, then it should matter not. It shouldn't trigger anything. It should be,
but not
water
everybody
off
has
the
that
back.
mindset.
But if you
She
know
made
you're
her
not
own
doing
decision.
something right, then it might actually,
Here's what I'm
dig
saying.
in and
If
cause a
you're
little
putting-
irritation.
if you're
Men with a
putting
voice
out-
have a certain amount of responsibility
Yes.
to lead the weak. You know what I'm
If
saying?
you're
I'm sorry
putting
if
out
we don't want to accept
information-
that responsibility. Go ahead.
if you're putting out information, if you're a content creator, especially, and you've got a YouTube channel, and you're telling people stuff that you know will get them harmed, like Wizard telling people to make fake fucking stamps, right? If you're putting out in bad advice knowingly, you're culpable.
Okay,
Do you have to?
I
Go ahead.
agree, but we haven't been able to isolate this specific advice because she was belligerent when talking. So we haven't isolated the specific advice. So we
But
don't
does she
know.
necessarily have to ask specific
No, we're not
advice if she's following his whole whatever mantra or whatever it might be, not having a driver's license, not having Social Security or whatever it might be, and that might have caused her to lose her child or whatever. I don't know. I'm just saying, if that was the case, do you not think he has any
At the end of the
responsibility at all?
day, no, okay, you know, people give like financial advice on the internet, they give some dating advice on the internet, but like they often throw out disclaimers saying like, hey, you know, this is whatever. Like at the end of the day, who is responsible? I guess that's the question. Yes, like
If
people
he
give
puts out
advice
a
all the time.
disclaimer, then that
People
means he's trying
have
to go ahead. I was just saying, if he put out a disclaimer, doesn't that mean he's trying to distance himself from what he's actually saying as far as legal
No, not at
reasons? As
all.
far as like, hey, I'm letting you know, like, hey, what I'm saying, you don't go and take this advice to the heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if dude puts out a disclaimer every time he gives out advice or whatever, but if he's not doing that, then
do
I
you
feel like,
need
yeah,
to
he's holding himself
put a
responsible. He got to
disclaimer
hold
out
himself
every
responsible.
Why would you want to make yourself liable?
Hold on. Stop. Sarah, then Dick, then I think I saw Simple Jack go. Who else is in line?
No, I was pointing at Notch. He was responding, and he's been trying to
Okay.
respond for two times now.
Okay, Notch, then Sarah, then Dick.
No, I'll yield.
Disclaimer is basic common sense of covering your own fucking ass. I just put up disclaimers on all of my shit because I'm turning it into a business. I'm trying to protect myself. It doesn't discredit the fact that I'm giving information or advice. It doesn't mean I don't stand behind it. It means you can't come after me for it.
Right.
Why would they come after you if it was good advice?
Because it's not a one-size-fits-all type thing. Shit happens. People make bad decisions. Like, it depends on the situation.
If you're explaining all of that, why do you need a disclaimer?
They may present like that woman did, and then get a terrible result, and then come back and blame you. So if I give advice on a channel and I say it's advice, that's one thing. But if every day I get on the channel, I say, this is not advice, I'm talking about different cryptocurrencies, I'm talking about different stocks, but this is not financial advice. It's
obviously
buyer
advice.
beware with
but
the
if you're saying
information.
that,
Do with
then
it
you
what
don't
you
need to
will.
put a
Throw the
disclaimer, right?
bathwater out. Take the gem if there is one there. But it's your responsibility.
Okay.
At what point?
Knows, I think everybody knows. We don't need to beat this point to death anymore. Everybody knows that whoever takes the action is ultimately responsible for their own lives, right?
Yes.
Everybody agrees with that.
We agree with that. Yeah.
There is, likewise, there is some responsibility on people to speak truth. Agree?
No.
No, I agree.
It's the internet, bro.
No, I think people should speak truth,
No.
and they're accountable to that.
Responsibility to speak truth.
It doesn't matter if it's the internet or you know the real world. I mean, you protect yourself
Sasquatch
the
and
best
Simple
you can.
Jack.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm a comedy channel. If I speak truth too closely, it's not comedy, even if it is funny. And
Okay,
that was too
okay.
shocking.
That
Satire.
context.
Yeah, in the context of comedy, yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, thank you. Satire, comedy, all kinds of other things that, you know, like you have. Yeah, there's.
Is that what Paul's channel is?
No.
That's what I was actually wondering. Does Paul?
Yes.
Does Paul's
Yes.
channel need a disclaimer? I
No,
I
it
think
doesn't.
every StreamYard's channel needs a disclaimer. Now that I think about it legally, it is
I
a
don't
smart
put
idea.
Yeah, I mean, he has a comedian on all the time now. So, yes.
Oh, hold on. I want to address El Pero's comment on the screen. Wizard, how can somebody be shadow banned and have caught the algorithm and jumped up 3,000 subs in a week and a half? How does that work out?
The war continues.
I mean, it's just complete bullshit. Should we watch more? Or should we? Are we done with that?
Let's not.
It's too real for me,
rather
dude.
not.
That is real. That's too real.
All right.
Doesn't
We're
he
done with
talk
that.
about license stuff and taxes stuff? And does he ever get into child, what you should do in a case in court for child, and how you speak to them about, you know, if your children were taken away? Has ever got specifically into that type of information?
Not that I've heard.
That doesn't seem like his MO. I don't know if he's had kids or
No.
not and dealt with that situation. So taking whatever he's taking at his vice, coming on licenses and things, doesn't even seem to equate to the same thing on how you should present yourself when your kids are being taken away.
He talks about court, interacting with court, but It's never. It really, from what I've heard, it is not like, here's how you do this, here's how you do that. It's more like, you did what they said, you went to court, so you're a piece of shit. You blah blah blah. So it's like that.
Hey, random question: would the beta kind of way to go to handle that situation would have worked? Just be a punching bag for the lady to just vent on.
Probably removing her from the panel.
Well, so it's hard to grasp the concept, FlowState, but let's just let her vent.
Okay.
It's like we can't think like beta some days. You know what I mean, bro?
Be a punching bag. What the fuck do you mean?
Like what?
You could do that. It doesn't mean you're better because you do that. It's just the choice you made. That's all that is.
Do you think that would have been a better show?
No, I don't think that would have been a better option.
Yeah, there's no really good way to handle that one, dude. That's a tough
probably
show.
removing her from the panel would have been the best move.
Yeah, I think. I mean, honestly, if it, and I'll try not to virtue signal, but whatever. I think the best way to handle it would have been to end the stream and talk to her and try to address, and try to actually sincerely figure out if you contributed to the situation, so that then, right? Am I doing something that's causing harm that I need to fix or not? Regardless, But I do think that a second best option would have been to remove her so that she's not kind of being made content out of.
And then people are going to accuse you of being insensitive and curt and.
Well, I mean, for the next 3 hours, they just told her she was high and that she fucked up. I mean, I don't think that's more sensitive.
I have one problem with that. If you take it backstage and you have a conversation with her, you will end up wrapped up in her problems and one of the people accused. Because you've given advice in that private conversation and you can't prove you didn't. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Well, and as much as I hate to agree with Mitch in the chat, he actually said something quite profound there. I mean, he's right on point.
Oh yeah,
can't argue with that.
I'm aware.
Yeah. So for my protection, I would just try to just do it live, because otherwise, any kind of accusation be thrown at you. But since it's recorded, then you can't be nailed for something you didn't say, and that's what certainly would have happened if he stopped recording and talked to her in private, which I would refuse to do.
Like, being public also protects you. Like, if you have a private conversation with a woman, like backstage, and you don't even really know much about her, I mean, nobody can say it's not recorded, and what if she comes out and says something differently about the conversation? Sometimes it can happen that way, so if you are public with the conversation that you have, you're going to get kickback. Every one of us is going to get criticism from somebody for not doing something right. Too much cupcaking, not enough cupcaking, whatever. It's up to their own standard, what that is, right?
I think we nailed this one, guys. Bam!
All right. Well, we solved that problem.
Who likes fat chicks? Oh, wait, what?
I like fat chicks.
There you
And
go.
if you don't want to go this direction, Flo, I'm curious, do people think standing for rights and freedoms is a thing? If so, how does that look in a practical sense day to day? Any thoughts on that, or do you want to go that direction?
I mean, we can take it there. I'll let somebody else go unless nobody has something else.
I think it's kind of difficult. Go ahead, Hank.
You go first.
Delay on my end.
You go first now.
I didn't hear.
No, I mean, I think it's very difficult. I think it's very difficult to be black and white about this situation. There's some things that we feel that we need to abide by, and then there are other things that if we feel like we can get away with, we try to get away with, type of deal. Like humans in general, they kind of behave that way, and there could be a lot of overlapping things. Like some people could be, getting their driver's license because that's more convenient while not paying taxes on something else. So it's kind of individually they're doing things what they feel like they can, but to be absolutely black and white about it, it's very difficult. I don't really see that so much, to be honest.
Yeah, I have a driver's license, but if for each and every infraction and ticket, I fight each and every one in court, because they'll usually just let you go because they don't want to fill up the court.
I see the benefits of it.
Practically speaking, going without a license is damn near impossible. The only people that I can think of that do that are illegal immigrants. that go around, and that's just how they have to live to survive. Everything is under the table with them.
And let me point out that he doesn't actually function without a license. He just has his girlfriend who has one drive him around.
Does having a license help prevent identity theft? Like,
How would that work?
Having an ID that you can match up with you, that you can scan, saying this is who I am in a system, instead of some guy going, I'm getting arrested right now and I'm FlowState. So you go in the record as FlowState, but the ID, you know what I mean? Like this. I go to the bank. I'm
if
FlowState.
somebody else, if somebody else has an ID, that makes it harder for them to steal my identity.
That's what I mean. Like our IDs and like stuff like this help. Like this is my car. I can prove this is my car. I have an ID registered to this car. I see the benefits of it.
I think I almost refused to get a fishing license, but then I caved and got one because I realized that they come down so hard. It's so expensive for people to get those tickets. They actually want you to get caught without a fishing license.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of reverse psychology on that one, I think.
And they show up out of nowhere, dude. Those game wardens will just surprise you.
Oh yeah. When I got
shadows, bro.
Game wardens are super cops. When I got raided the first time, they sent game wardens in first.
Game wardens are federal, son. When I got pulled over riding down the road, all I had was a bag of weed in my pocket. This dude blue lights me, pulls me over. It's the game warden. 19 felonies, all of them dismissed, guilty of misdemeanor possession. Dude, I was sweating bullets.
Why did go into that a little bit more? Why did you get charged with 19 felonies?
Because he was a game warden and an asshole. I was okay. I had a dislocated hip and I had trouble getting in and out of vehicles. And when he tried to get me out of the car, we were parked right on a really steep thing. And when I stepped out, I slipped down the hill a little bit. He tried to say that was evading.
What'd you say that pissed him off?
He asked me if there was any drugs in the car, and I had them in my pocket, and I was out of the car, and I looked at the car. And he went, "What's that in your pocket?" I said, "Those are drugs." And they're not in the car. And he got really mad.
Great story, dude. They are serious. They're like,
they're federal. So
they watch Texas Ranger like episodes on rerun, bro.
And Hank said he always goes and fights the tickets, but if you get a camera ticket, there's no points, at least in Canada, because they can't, tell who is actually driving the car. So there's no points on, that whatever infraction. So I didn't know that. And I had someone to go and fight the tickets. It was, going through a red and speeding. It was both on the camera. And I got the fine reduced. But when you plead guilty to it, then you're admitting it was you. And then I got points off my license because I pled guilty to it, opposed to if I just would have paid the ticket, there would have been no points.
Your lawyer should have told you about what points you would get. So it's got bad legal advice.
To me, have this conversation, I think for the most part, like we agree, like we don't really like the government, we don't want to pay taxes, and nobody wants to be a slave, even though the way I kind of look at it is that all of us, even the Savsits, are more or less a slave, because if you're using the monetary system, you're using the bank or the money, you are a part of the slave system, in my opinion. It's just there's a relative difference between one slave to another, but you don't have absolute freedom in this world unless you grow your own food and you're not part of the monetary system at all in whatsoever way, and then you're able to be sustainable. And then even then, if they want to scud your ass, then you're still done. So we're kind of all within the system in that way, right? So what I think I have problem with, and this is something that I forgot who brought it up. I think, is that Flo, you brought it up? That if Paul stands for rights and freedom, and he talks about how everybody should not get their license and stuff, yet he takes advantages of his girlfriend and allows her to drive him, somewhere while she has the license, then he should be more soft critical in that way, right? I mean, I don't disagree. There are a lot of other people, not only Paul, who talked about like not driving around with license, but like they do it like fully though too, right? So where are we?
So Unslaved, a Truth had a question for me about that. It's like, well, he thinks I'm afraid of cops, and that's why I got a license. I'm not afraid of cops. What I don't want to happen is my hard work. I work hard, bro. My truck is worth $60,000, and because I didn't pay a $500 registration fee and a $25 license fee, some cop can get behind me, impound that truck, and then have to pay $1,000 to get that out. Why not just pay these little tiny fiat currencies that's nothing for me to enjoy my $60,000 truck on the road, bro? Without that worry of a cop getting behind me. I don't worry about cops at all. I'm part of the system. I don't care. I
should.
Everybody's part of the system.
Yeah.
No,
But-
you can. I
And
think you
that's
can
their
remove yourself
choice.
from the
Everybody's
team.
got to create their own boundaries and choose their line in the sand of, I guess, what's acceptable and not acceptable. You're saying it's worth it. You're saying I'm going to participate because I don't want the inconvenience. What about the karmic debt of 140 trillion of unfunded liabilities and what that does to your conscience to actually, through consent,
that you're
comply to be this citizen? No, look, I'm just.
You're still on the hook for it, though.
Let me just ask this question. I'll summarize it briefly.
Okay. Go ahead.
Is there inherently anything positive to be gleaned from absolving yourself, even just in your mental, confusion of actually being that citizen? In the sense that I get you're not necessarily, going to convince the policy enforcer of that.
Yes.
But is there a karmic consequence to your spirituality, and also your actions will follow as well, right?
Yes, but the way I'm doing, I'm pretty sure is not a negative karmic energy.
And
like I can add to the funds for the government
a military industrial complex. If you're consenting to everything that those tax dollars support, and you're saying I'm doing it of my own recognizance because I want the privileges and benefits, it's one thing to say, look, this isn't voluntarism. I'm being forced against my own will to be a slave.
Let him respond.
That's
and
one
then
thing.
I will respond.
Then there's another side I'm hearing from you where you're saying, hey, I think it's worth it, and why buck? I like the system. I like my 60 grand truck, and I like my
respond, and then I will respond.
My license and registration.
I don't know where my taxes went, but I can assume maybe they went to help Hurricane Katrina. I'm good, bro. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know where my taxes went, but I know that America's working, and I'm safe. I can enjoy my freedoms. And right now, but why stress out or think about these things I have no control over?
And not to say that I know where all the taxes go, because who does, right? But doesn't that raise a red flag in and of itself that you actually can't have a transparent audit of what your blood, sweat, and tears goes to?
I think you could do a transparent audit, but I don't think it's actually going to happen. I think you actually could call for it with enough of citizens.
No, you can't.
And
you don't know about the Federal Reserve, do you?
Too much theft.
Basically all your income tax goes, and I know that getting a license isn't income tax, but all your income tax basically goes to paying interest on existing debt.
Well, super hypothetical, but if we had revolution, we could do a super audit on them after we won.
Yeah. Okay, that's not useful. To quote Jack, complicated Jack.
Does anyone else have anything to say on that?
So,
I mean, does anyone see the value?
And Hank does. I would say that yes, it's about choosing the hill that you want to die on. If you don't have a license, you can't function in the world, really. And I have bigger responsibilities, like to my family, to provide for them, than I do to stand up for the government in a way that wrecks my life and has no impact at all on them.
Yeah. So if I can respond to that real quick,
Let Hank go first. Let Hank go first. And then
So I have more freedom doing at least the bare minimum with the system than fucking up against it and ending up in a cage. I have more freedom doing some paperwork than at least I'll be an open air prisoner than refusing to do anything and be slapped in the cage. So that's why I pay taxes. I do get the licenses. I pay the rent. That's why I do that thing.
A notch.
Okay. It's like, I mean, like, I agree with you, Flo, that, I mean, you do have a responsibility. So, like, again, it's up to the individual to determine, you know, what's going to be right for them or not, right? Like, it's difficult to get everybody on the same page. Like, don't pay taxes, don't get a license, always like fucking talk shit to the cops, whatever it might be. And if you get like 100 million people to be able to do that, great, but we know that's not the way it's going to be. So people are going to like trying to, uh, uh, get away with whatever they can get away with, and they got their own responsibilities and lives to live. So it is what it is.
Thank you, Lindsay, for the contribution. You're welcome for entertaining you. And Red, I know that you're Paul. You're welcome to come up, but you're getting real close to getting kicked from the chat. Mitch, you're also welcome to come up. As long as you don't like snafu the fuck out and start talking over everybody, which you don't, you'll be fine. Lindsay, also, of course, you're welcome to. Anyways.
So, Notch, is a license something that you have to get to up where you're at?
I don't have a fucking license,
Okay.
and I don't wear like a helmet, even though I'm supposed to. I just do whatever the fuck I want, and then if the police catch me, I just try to drive off. Usually around here, like in India, like they tried to stop me a few times, and I would like kind of slow down, and I just like kind of speed up when I get near them.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. That's funny. Yeah.
But I mean, like
do you have a line in the sand of where government overextends its power on your life as far as taxes or anything? Like where's the line in the sand of what government can tell you to do or not do?
Every instance needs to be weighed individually, I think, for me. Or there's a risk reward analysis
specific that you could say is kind of a defining point where like I won't go any further than that.
I mean,
You're
sure there is,
much
but like,
from me.
Yeah, like if you say we gotta come to your house every week and butt fuck you, like obviously there's limits, but I think that realistically every situation has to be weighed independently, right?
What if I'm an attractive female with a strap on, Flo? I know you might get into that kind of stuff.
Then I might be willing to pay extra taxes for that.
See,
but here's the
it's all in
thing:
the presentation. It's all on the pitch.
the reality of the matter is that everybody's got a line. Everybody has to have a line. You have to, like right now, we're doing what we're doing because that's comfortable for us, like Hank paying his rent and whatever, like getting the driver's license. And I'm not here to judge how you're gonna live your life, but there comes a point when are you gonna allow them to chip you? Are they gonna allow you to have surveillance over you? Are they gonna allow you to?
Oh, sorry, Notch. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm being rude. I was just gonna say, what if you find out they already did it to you? I apologize, dude. That was rude of me. Go ahead. You were right in the middle of your stride.
No, but I'm just saying, we know what their game plan is. Like they've been telling us for years now what they want to do with you. Okay, they want the 15-minute cities. They want to put the chip on everything. They want your car to be run on whatever the fuck they want it to be run on. They want your car to be like automated. Like they can literally lock you in your own car and it will drive
so,
without you thinking about it. Like at what point do you want to draw a line? I guess that's the question.
Robin in her comment found one of my lines. Yeah, that's one of my lines right there. Was the pokey poke?
I would say mine is land. If I had, if I was a landowner, and they tried pulling that eminent domain and didn't give the value of my land, I would definitely fight for my land.
On Friday, we've got Derek Gonzalez is going to talk about land patents and where you can patent your own land. And so you actually got more rights when you actually have land and you patent it, because there's sheriffs that will protect your land, that if any policy enforcers come on your land, you can call these sheriffs and they will remove them off of your land because they supersede any of these other enforcement agencies.
Who are you going to call?
There is a way, right? If they did an eminent domain and they gave you a bunch of fiat notes, you would get off the land.
Well, it has to be worth the value. I heard people getting ripped off, or straight up it just being taken from them.
I know a guy who got rich that way because of the DIA airport. Made a
There is
fucking
weighted
killing.
profit, but there's also like California, they don't give you the value of what the land's worth, knowing that if I put houses there, it could triple the value. They would say, well, I'm going to put a school there. So it has basic value, the lowest, we can give you the lowest dollar. You know what I mean? That would be really, really fiery on my, that'd make my fire. Yeah, I'd boil. I'd fight for that.
That's when the
Hard
city
work.
annexes your land. That's when I think you get the kind of the lowest when it's being annexed, that area.
So, good question, Dick. Where's the line? I don't know if I could have stood up against the jab because, man, I don't think, because there was no jobs hiring to the job I had. I think I would have done it, but I was lucky. I don't know. They didn't ask for it to happen, so. But
Yeah, I was not. Not even. Yeah, no.
Not
I think
happening for me.
I'm quite confident that that is a line that I would have held just right up to.
I was living paycheck to paycheck, bro. I couldn't.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
did
I
my
look at it
job.
as suicide, basically. Would I commit suicide or live on the streets? I'd live on the streets.
But knowing that there were some side effects, but most people are okay from it. Was it really that big of a deal?
Not
I
most
don't know
people.
that I agree with that. I think that
Just a question. It's just a question. Yeah.
I think well, and I'm kind of hesitant to get into this too deep, but I will say that I know a lot of people who have developed super aggressive cancer and other health problems after the fact.
My father did. So, my
yeah.
father. Yep.
So I
it's crazy, bro.
Will they admit that it's got something to do with that? Absolutely not.
Nope.
Is it likely to assume that to suspect that there may have been some influence here? Yes. When you got people that that just start having heart attacks out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Hey, Monograph,
And
I'm gonna wave at me. Welcome.
How's it going? I hate to FlowState. I don't know who you are. I was notified by a liaison over on Twitter.
Is it Snafu Snaps?
About Tariq is running his mouth along with that Mr. Simpson. Now, hopefully you don't bring these guys up. I need to defend myself because of the gross misrepresentation of everything. That video that I produced, it's called The Umbrella Man, and it's based on the dangers of prostitution. I'm very proud of that video, and I'm very proud of that production. The model, her name is Vicki Miller, and she was 35 years of age at the time of the production.
Is that that's the one where is that the one with the mask?
One in the mask. That's the one in the piggy mask. The one in the lamb mask. There was 4 episodes. All 4 of them are online. He talks about that I was questioned by wrong. There is no such thing as this task force. I contacted the Pentagon my frickin' self, and I recorded the call during a live stream. There's no such thing as any task force. It's bullshit. That was created by Timothy Charles Homseth. That idiot has 4 freaking warrants out for his arrest. 2 in Florida, 1 in Minnesota, 1 in Ohio for stalking. That's a fact, Jack. Go look it up. Go look it up. That film, there's nothing to it. There's no gratuitous violence. There is no sex at all. There is no freaking everybody's alive. She's alive and well. If these idiots like Tariq, these morons like Mr. Paul over there, these doofballs, these people that proliferate erroneous information, like Mr. Simpson out of Arizona, that go on your show and everybody else's show and on and on and on with zero evidence. Zero. It sure is funny that Paul, it sure is funny that Tariq, it sure is funny if they're so worried, have they called the police? Did they contact law enforcement? Did they file a freaking formal criminal complaint? Did they contact the FBI? Oh, they didn't. Well, why not?
Good points. I'm glad you came up. Thank
you. Sir. Let me say one more thing. Hate to interrupt. I'm suing a very famous attorney right now on falsely accusing me of that bullshit, specifically that film, making claim that it's something when it's not. Do you really believe that I'd be filing a lawsuit and in a lawsuit right now? And his attorney is supposedly one of the best constitutional attorneys on the frickin' planet. I'm whooping his ass. Sure am. We're going to Discovery next.
And are you putting that stuff up
I'm
on your channel?
myself, my great name. I have a great name. Sure am. And here's the thing, sir. I'm just a man, okay? I'm only one person. But I have to defend my great name. It is me. See, they don't want to tell you this at all. That the reason why I'm attacked a lot online is because I'm the guy that changed the course of history and proved that the CIA uploaded that video called Innocence of Muslims back in 2011 on September the 11th at 5:45 a.m. And ever since then, I've been attacked ferociously on the internet. Now go check that out. I'm the guy that changed the course of history because the CIA, the Defense Intelligence Agency, everybody, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Susan Rice, all blame the killing of Christopher Stevens and his staff, what happened in Benghazi, on a YouTube video. I'm the guy that proved it was bullshit electronically and proved that the CIA uploaded it themselves through their own damn time codes and their proprietary software. I'm the guy. They don't tell you about that. So they want to make these wild claims up. I have a fantastic name, and I'm going to stand by my name. And that's all, sir. I didn't mean to interrupt your show.
No, I'm glad that you came up. And that was my sort of initial response was that I'd never heard of you, actually, until Snafu came through. I dropped a link backstage, though. Do you want to address that or
That is
not?
bullshit. First of all, yes, I changed my name. Sure did. But I changed my name because I was an artist back in the 90s. Sure was. Changed my name in 1995, and it didn't go through until 1996. That's the only reason why I changed my name, is because I was a musician working with guys in Los Angeles, producers and such. I was also in the art world. That's a fact, Jack. Sure is. Did work for Stevie Nicks, Bobby D, Tom Green. Yeah, go check.
I don't
Sure
intend
did.
to digress,
It's
but
called
were,
a stage name. I don't know if anybody heard of that.
were you at the Bundy Ranch with Potter, Roy Potter?
No, I was not. But
Oh.
Roy Potter is a good friend of mine.
Right on.
Colonel Roy Potter.
So just for due diligence, are you a PDF?
Absolutely not. Do you think I would go to court knowing that this thing called Discovery? Oh, hell no, dude. Wrong. Hey, here's another thing. Why won't these monkeys get into the ring with me so I can drop kick them next Tuesday?
You know, I don't know, but I'm stunned that nobody's trying to get in here right now. I don't see not one person
dare
banging.
say this shit in my face. They're all protected behind that keyboard, but they'd never say this shit in my face ever. And if
Hey,
they
Flo,
want
I
to,
can go
let's
down.
get in the ring, baby.
Well,
I can
nobody's
set it
trying to
up
get in,
MMA,
though.
baby.
You're full.
Anytime.
When I'm full and
Now-
somebody's trying to get in, it gives me a notification, and I have not gotten any notifications.
Thank you. Thank you.
So see, if you let this idiot in here, Mr. Sims, he'll be rattling off at the mat. What about this? What about? Excuse me. Listen, I don't know if I can drop a link in the back chat, but you can go to give me a fair shake, Mr. FlowState.
Mm-hmm.
To give me a fair shake, you can go to.
If you drop it, I'll share it.
Okay. Let me go to it.
Mhm.
And this is the lady that was she was the actress / model for the Umbrella Man.
Okay.
Okay, her name is Vicki Miller, and at the time she was, in fact, 35 years of age. I'm going to get you her Twitter account. Now,
Okay.
back then, this was before I ever met Timothy Homeseth. This was before anybody knew me. Okay, as far as in your circles, certainly for sure. This is before any of this bullshit came up. And how did this nonsense come up? Who created this garbage? Timothy Homseth. He sure did. Why is that? Because I kept busting his ass. Because
For
he kept
what?
lying. He was lying to everybody, talking about how he freaking was involved in some task force. I call the Pentagon my damn self. It's all bullshit. It doesn't exist. It's a figment of this idiot's imagination. I also was protecting individuals that he was attacking, because I know a thing or two about computers, if you get my meaning. And he was attacking viciously all of these people without cause, without provocation. And yes, I've doxed a lot of people in my time. So people ask for my help, and I help them. I don't charge them. They don't have to buy a book. They ain't got to go make a donation. I just help them to help them. Because when nobody will help you, people come to me. Now here it is right here. The name of her Twitter account. Let me get it for you.
Okay.
She goes by, hold on a second. I'm trying to get it for you.
And again, if you put it back in the back chat, I'll drop it in the normal
Well,
chat.
right here, sir. If you can type it down, I'm in a Twitter account, so I'm not typing anything. It says at Moonchild 1975. So
Okay.
let me see if I can just.
Here,
I can't
I
copy
can get
paste
it.
it. Hold on a second. It's at Moonchild 1975. Now, you got to remember again, that's going to be on Twitter. Let me see if I can pull it up on Twitter.
Hey,
1975. You see it?
I mean, you're not sharing the screen or anything, but I
No, hold on a
typed what you
second.
told me
I'm
to.
typing it in the back. In the back.
Okay.
Okay. Do you see it right there?
Yeah,
Hold on a
yeah.
second. Let me see if I can go get it, sir. All right. One moment, please.
Yep, you're good.
Let me go here at Moonchild. I'll get the hyperlink.
Sarah, did you just drop a link to? Oh, that was to Monograph's channel. Okay.
Okay, here it is right here. This is her Twitter account. And you got to remember, this is before I met any of y'all, before anybody knew me in these sort of circles. This is Vicki Miller. She's alive and well. Excuse me, that's an adult. I'm so sorry. These idiots don't know how to do research. Her name is Vicki Miller. If you go down through about March or April of 2010, she's making statements like, well, I gotta go and die. I gotta go die again. I'm in negotiations. Let me go ahead and read some of them, shall we?
Go
I'm
ahead,
there
yeah.
now. April 16th of 2010, Vicki Miller says, oh my, I'm on my way to a video shoot. Hit me up. I gotta go get killed now. Posted on April 16th of 2010. It's funny how you can be attached to a person because you call them family only to meet them once, blah, blah, blah. It goes on to say, it says on April 16th, well, today I'm going to die, but first I got to get dinner started. Laugh out loud, because she's going to do the video, The Umbrella Man. There was 4 episodes, buddy. That's why she's wearing a mask. The first episode, she's not wearing a mask. I opened it up with a Serputa film. That's how I got the idea about the Umbrella Man, because of the Umbrella Man at the JFK assassination. Okay, here's another one. It talks about, let's see, April 15th. Let's see, you can see it right there. It says,
but it is a
on
Twitter
April
account with
15th.
8 followers, and no likes on any of it. It could just be made up for, just kind of to prove, for proof, right? It doesn't look like a real account.
It doesn't look like a real account. Okay, well, why don't you take your email address and run your email address against any of the databases all over the world, and you'll see that what? It goes to that Twitter account, buddy. That's how it was found. I didn't even find that. An attorney found that. I didn't even know it was there. See how that works?
Sir,
See, everybody's
can I ask you
email
a
can be
question?
traced. What?
Yes, sir. Is it true that that you have like Paul enslaved and you were able to dox him, or did you make any claims about that?
I called him up on his cell phone. He actually answered.
Because I remember watching Paul's channel in regards to your claim, and then I think you were on his show for a brief amount of time, and he was asking you to call him on the phone, but he never got a call from you. So
Because he changed his number.
Okay. So that's what happened.
That's why he was being coy like that.
So you called him, and then he answered, and then you had one interaction with him, and afterwards he changed his number, and you were not able to get a hold of him again.
This is how it happened. I called him up. I said, "Listen, I understand you're running your mouth about me, and you better get a grip on yourself, because I can just add you to the list, buddy. It's not that big of a deal. I'm already suing one clown, and I can just keep going and on and on and on because I ain't afraid of nobody. When it comes to this online garbage, it's a bunch of bullshit. Okay." When you start running your mouth and you start attaching people's names to things that they didn't do, crimes they didn't commit, that is called slander, and you can be held liable. And if you doubt my words, well, go look at my court case. It's in the appellate court right now. Okay? So all these people running around the internet thinking that's okay to claim somebody committed some sort of atrocious crime. Well, it's not okay. So I called him up. I got his cell number. I know exactly who he is. I know his name. I'm know more about that dude than his mama knows. I call him right up. The first freaking try, second ring, he answers. And I just let him know, hey, knock it off. I'm giving you a warning right now. Just courtesy call, and that's all it is. Click, hung up. That's it. And then what happened? He goes online whining about how I called him up on his phone. I didn't even say anything online. I didn't say one word that I called him. He went on some show somewhere. And Snappy Craps whining about it, how he's whining that I called him up. Yeah, I sure did call him up.
Excuse me.
Called a warning. And then he changed his number.
Excuse me, sir.
Tell you the facts.
Are these guys affecting your business? Or just your emotions?
Excuse me?
Are these guys affecting your business or your emotions? Like, what's going on here? I understand they're doing slander, but if you're not actually doing anything...
Who's talking? I can't even see who's talking.
Simple Jack, sir. I'm talking.
Oh, okay.
It's the internet. You should know. You said you know how the internet works.
I'm not
People
watching
slander.
the screen, sir. I'm watching my camera, so I can't see you.
I answered. That's why I waved. So hopefully you see that and everything.
I see you now. I see you now.
Yeah. So yeah, how are these guys affecting your business? That's a valid question. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, they're affecting my business and they're affecting my person. And if anybody, male, female, something in between, if you think it's not going to affect you, how about if I do this to you? How about if I falsely accuse you and put your face on this garbage day in and day out and falsely accuse you of crimes you never committed, and then call up and get online and none of you people heard of me until some whining crybaby by the name of Mr. Simpson or whatever the hell his name is from Arizona.
That's what I wanted to ask you.
Online, he wants to freaking blame me for Marfugal News. I don't know anything about Marfugal News. I don't care what that dude.
Do you know this? Do you know the dude from Arizona? Do you know him?
I know him personally.
Or why? Yeah, why is he? Because I'd never heard of you until him. Why is he all up in your business?
Okay, well let me explain to you on that one. This bozo calls me up and says, "Hey, you got to look into Marfugal News. Oh my God, this other guy, he works with Oracle, and they're ripping off like veterans." And I'm like, listen, I need some evidence. Don't accuse a man of anything without evidence. You're telling me this, but you're not showing me anything. Go put up a video, go line by line by line by line, and show me the evidence. Nope, wouldn't have it. Next thing you know, he's blaming me for his crimes or whatever he's accusing him of. Because I wouldn't kiss his ass and say, "You're right. Oh, you're right," and go after him and attack him. Listen, this snafu craps weirdo, okay? His whole objective is to go and try to intimidate others, to intimidate you or anybody else that doesn't agree with him, and then talk over you and scream over you. "Oh, you're this and you're that," and falsely accuse you of supporting somebody.
That's
or
true.
You're on their
None of that is
side,
true.
or you're one of them, and y'all stick together. Dude, why
That is
hasn't this
true.
dude filed a charge against me? Why didn't
That's what I'm trying to say, sir. That's my question. Like, it seems like it's an internet troll. You've been on the internet for a while. I've heard your name in the past. So how do you not know how to handle these guys?
I do know how to handle them.
No, you're not. No, you're about to have a heart attack, bro.
May I?
Would you like me to do the things to you as they've done to me? Because I can hook you up, buddy. It's not a problem.
See, right there, that's very strange right there. That's
How's that
very strange, sir.
I'm asking you a question. How would you like it?
Well, no, it's the way you. No, I dude.
How would
Right
you
now,
like me to put your face
you know what,
on these
dude?
crimes that you
I
never
don't.
committed?
I wouldn't like it, but guess what? It wouldn't affect me. Like you said, they're not called. Like I haven't done anything bad. Like that's the thing. Like you can. It's the internet, dude. I can imagine how many movie stars or like or government people. May I finish? May I finish? May I finish? Like I can't imagine how many actors. Walmart gets accused of the worst things. They have to ignore the internet. They have to. Okay. Actors get accused of all kinds of things. Politicians. Matt Gaetz was just accused of that. He's still a politician.
I don't give a shit. That's them. They can deal with that the way that they want to.
And Monograph is still doing his thing too. Like,
it's all a question. That's all. That's all it is. I'm just surprised.
How would you handle it?
I don't think I'd be in this situation making films like him, bro. I don't think I'd be even in the situation.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, what I would do? I would ignore them. I would ignore them. I literally would not help promote them. You're doing exactly what FlowState said, what Snaps was doing. You're down promoting is actually helping them promote them, making your case even worse on the internet, dude. I haven't heard anything about this before. You self-promoted yourself about this. Okay, but go ahead. I'm done. I made my point because, like, I'm enjoying your story.
You were here earlier
I
when
haven't made
somebody
my
was here.
point, but I tell you what, when I'm on the phone with your mom and your dad, your brothers, and all your neighbors, you keep the phone.
Are they doing that, dude? Is that just false accusation? I don't think Snaps is on the phone with everybody in your family, bro.
I'm gonna call up all your freaking girlfriends, your boyfriends, all of it. Don't be upset, dude.
Can you act? Do you have the receipts, sir? Do you have the receipts for the accusation?
Do I have the receipts of what?
Them calling every family member you have. I don't think Snaps does that, dude.
I think that he was offering to.
Oh, really? Why don't you go? Yeah, see, there you are. You're talking out of your ass. You don't know what you're talking about.
No, I'm not talking out my ass. I'm just suggesting ideas, bro. Like,
you asked for receipts. I'm giving you receipts. Now shut your mouth. Go to socialmedia.com. You'll see my brother up there. What does my brother got to do with me? Nothing.
but you didn't answer, bro. I said phone calls. Phone calls are different than the internet.
Yes,
phone calls,
yes,
personal
they call
ring
up my
phone
damn-
calls.
Yes, they have.
So
They have
please,
called up my family members.
but I'm
They
done
call
with
up
my
damn
debate with
people I don't
you.
even
But
know.
thank you for sharing your story. Thank you.
Well, I tell you what, thank you for giving me permission to do the same thing to you as others have done to me. Thank you for telling me you're going to promote yourself.
Sasquatch.
No.
As
Not see that conclusion at all.
Sasquatch, take it.
When you become angry with someone who is trying to make you angry, you are feeding the cycle that makes you angry and feeding the people that are trying to make you angry, therefore completing a vicious cycle that just leads to a coronary. I'm done.
Really? Tell that to people with guns and knives. Tell that to somebody in the street. Tell that to somebody in the street that wants to kill you with a gun or a knife because you're falsely accused of the most sickest thing on the planet that you're not guilty of. You tell them that.
Hey,
Tarek, you're in no position to challenge anyone. You've been called a liar by Monograph here right now, and you're hiding in the chat. So stop taking pot shots from down there and come up if you've got anything to say, Tarek. That's unslaved truth.
Later.
No, I guess that's over.
Later.
Well, that was interesting.
That was interesting.
And I will concede that the idea, if they started affecting my life and business, then yes, I would pursue legal action. But he said that, I don't think they really affect him, being just side trolls, just with how many subs they have. Like,
he's got.
No, well, I mean, like, what if you're what if your image and YouTube is your business, though? I mean, and I think he did say that it was affecting him.
He's got
It's a
over
fine line, though.
71,000. Yeah, he's got over 71,000 subs. So it's not like, you know, I'm
To his chats before, and he has like well over 500 to 1,000 people when he goes live. I mean, that's not saying whatever, but like, I mean, it's like 10 times more than 5 to 10 times more than like the people that we generally hang out with.
If the YouTube is his business, then this controversy is also his business.
Exactly. That's what I was fixing to say. If
fair enough.
FlowState, your particular channel operates off of the interaction between other channels that either have beef, get over beef, or don't have beef and develop beef. In this case, you're dealing with someone who has become a professional beef stalker.
I like that phrase, beef stalker.
He seems to enjoy the workup. He seems to enjoy the payoff, and he seems to enjoy the idea that all of these people are out to get him. Now, whether or not they are, with 70,000 subscribers, there's a decent chance that somebody out there has called everyone he knows.
And I'm going to say
but
that
here's the deal.
I was going to say that I think that I've known Snafu for what, I don't know, over a year probably, and he definitely never shuts the fuck up about him. I think the guy's got a valid point.
I mean, look, like Snafu has called like Tommy, Paul, like other people, PDFs and Pogo, you know, even OTW, like anybody that who doesn't agree with him, right? Basically,
yeah. And it's bullshit every time, and it's bullshit every fucking time.
Yeah. Like he has no credibility for me. Like I don't care. Like only reason like people let him up is because they're just letting him loose. Like he's gonna go off on his shit. Maybe he has some truth. I don't know. But like at this point, he's like a boy who cried wolf, and I'm not gonna care what he has to say. Like it has no weight whatsoever for me.
Agree, but he's still in the wrong.
Do not bear false witness upon another.
No. Snaps.
I agree on that one. Yes, I agree on that one. I just had questions. That's all. It was just helping the content. That's all it was. Like,
hey, and
I would hate for the internet to come after me, but
it was spicy. I appreciate you keeping
but
it spicy.
At the end there,
you went out
talked more about.
Yeah, you were kind of cool.
At the end, he was talking about people actually threatening his life, pulling out guns and knives and putting him in reality. That is, I mean, that's a lot worse than a cup of fucking troll on an internet. Like, I'm gonna defend the fuck out of myself if someone's gonna come and physically harm me.
Yeah.
I don't think Snaps is doing that. That's one of the people he's accusing.
Talking about Snaps.
Here's the thing.
The narrative and think he is a PDF and they attack him. I don't think Snaps is doing it directly. It's people that believe Snaps. And
I mean, that is dangerous because everybody's heard of like the stories of dudes who look at the registry list, right, and then go hunting those people when you could be caught peeing outside and be on that list. Now,
Man. I mean, like it's a fucking serious shit. Like if there were any fucking real, genuine PDFs around me, they're not gonna last. I'm telling you.
Right, but that's
and
what
I
I'm saying
fucking
is
issue.
the claim is dangerous.
Yeah, but I mean, like the people who say it, they have to be 110 fucking % for
Correct.
saying that kind of shit in the first place. And then if you are it, and then like people prove that you're fucking it, you better fucking cover your ass, okay? Because there are people who are not gonna fucking sit around. Because I had to fucking deal with this situation when I was in Nepal with fucking Europeans and fuck,
If you
like, I'll fuck them up. I don't care.
I know you're talking about you. You're talking about your standard of proof, right? That's not the world standard of proof. The world standard of proof is very low to put you in danger.
I get it.
So, okay.
Yes, and that's why you have to be very, very careful about it. Either way, you got to be very careful. So don't be going around and accusing people unless you. And then plus, if you're going to accuse people of doing something, you better be doing something about it too. So like, And besides, like Snafu, I'm sorry, but like he has no credibility for me. Monograph has more of a credibility. At least he came up and he tried to defend his name. Like if you
Yeah.
are a man of any conscience, you better go and defend your name. Like if anybody's accusing you of being a PDF and you're not, like you're gonna like just sit there and say, oh well, whatever, it's just the internet. Like no, I'm gonna say like no, that's fucking bullshit. I'm not a fucking PDF, and I'm gonna say it over and over again until everybody fucking gets it right.
What's up, Sherelle?
Hi, how are you guys?
Good. Good. And
I don't know. I just found out about my little hit piece, and
you have a hit piece?
I want to like kind of, yeah.
Well,
So I
this is
just
the first
wanted
I'm
to.
hearing of it.
It's okay. To kind of clear my name, and unfortunately, the title of the video that hurt me a lot is going to hurt his name, and I don't want to do that. So I don't know if I should do it. What do you guys think?
I guess I don't understand the question. Like, my thought would be, do you want to attract attention to it?
I really don't.
Is it?
But you kind of already have, so you might as well say your
I
piece
just
at this
want
point.
like
Or if you want to put it in the back chat, so maybe I know what question you're asking me a little bit better.
it's I guess so about my ex-boyfriend that died a year and a half ago, but like I wasn't even with him for like a year, like almost a year. We were really good friends, you know, and I I was called like a bunch of names, and
Was it by the common thread? Is it snaps?
yes. What should I do?
You do whatever you want, but I think that you should go
I
ahead and say your piece now since we're here.
Well, okay. The video is 10 minutes long, and the only way I'm gonna put it out is like it's really hard to do because
is it a video that you're going to release in response?
it's on my phone, so I'll do it like
Oh, okay.
this.
I'm probably
gonna
not
do
going to
it the
watch it
other
right
way.
now. Hang tight for a second.
No, it's
I have
fine.
two.
I'll go away.
No, you're fine.
It's just
I'm not gonna play it right now with you holding the phone up to the screen.
okay.
But no, you're definitely welcome to stay.
Can I ask some questions?
I don't even want to. Yeah, ask me anything.
So what's going on? Like, there's somebody made a video about you falsely accusing you of something, and you just want to correct the record. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's not true, and he has no credibility. I think.
Is it really?
But why do that to somebody that like was I went through a lot with? Like he was showing all this emotional support for this woman that like lost her kids and all this other stuff. But like
Sasquatch, do you have any final thoughts? Sorry, Sasquatch left a message.
bad.
He's about to leave.
Sorry.
Do you have anything to say?
Hi, Sasquatch.
Anytime you engage in any sort of internet activity and you know the reason for it is to make you angry and you feed them the anger they want, you are giving them the energy and reason to follow through in every little petty threat they bring up. But if they bring their full tools to bear against you and you do nothing, you don't even mention it, you never say a word, they will give up.
No, they haven't gave up.
Hugs, Sasquatch, hugs.
I've been threatened
brother.
A lot, like for many. It's been a while. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Be good,
Have a lovely evening.
See you Tuesday, Sasquatch.
Yes, sir. Sasquatch out.
Like it's so stupid.
Now I have two people showed up all of a sudden now that Monograph is gone. Backstage.
Excuse me, miss. How do you
Go
pronounce
ahead.
your name?
I would love it if it was my accuser.
All right, Tarek, you're gonna have to wait. Optics, come on up.
God, no. Like we need brains.
I have a question.
Pineal power flow.
I want to know
it
if
is?
it's related.
Sorry?
Sherelle, you mentioned that your ex died.
Yeah.
Is that related to